the applications now, I want you all to look at the example here. All right, so looking at example 3, I want you all to look at the triangle for me. And this is what I want you all to do in the meantime. I want you all to identify the sides of the triangle. Next thing is, I want you all to identify the side that you are given the length of. And from there, I want you to tell me what is the length AC, what in terms of what is the opposite, the adjacent, the hypotenuse, that kind of thing, right? And then from there, we're going to talk about the trig ratio, and we'll see how we apply trig ratios to solve for missing lengths. So while you're thinking, anybody want to think out loud for me and tell me what side is AC? Which side of the triangle is AC?
The hypotenuse.
The hypotenuse, lovely. And anybody want to tell me which length am I given? Which side of the triangle do I know the length of?
Which is the side adjacent.
All right, so BC, and somebody said it adjacent, very good. And which trig ratio? So which angle are we given? Let's start with that one. We notice we're given the magnitude 60 degrees. So from here, we'll be able to determine which trigonometric ratio we're going to apply. So as you all were able to say it, right? BC is the adjacent simply because it's next to the angle. So which trig ratio do you think we're going to apply here? Just now? Yes, I was listening to you. All right, so Talisha says cos. So
Miss Cos.
yes, Talisha, yes. So the answer is you're using cosine. The reason why you all said the answer, you all said the ratio before you all said the actual trig ratio name, okay? You all said we had the hypotenuse. Well, we want to find the hypotenuse, and you all said we had the adjacent. So once we have the adjacent side and we want to find the hypotenuse, the ratio that we have to use here would be cosine, because that's the one that relates the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So let's see how this works out for us, all right? So again, once you all have access to these notes, you all can take your time, go through it, and internalize. And any questions, you all are free to ask me. You all can just message, email, whatever you all choose to, okay? So the first thing you always need to do is identify your missing side. So like I did, I identified my missing side. I'm going to see what other side I'm given, and this will help me determine which ratio I'm going to use. So since I was given the adjacent side, as you all correctly identified, I know that the only ratio that relates the adjacent and the hypotenuse to each other is cos. So that's why I'm going to choose to use cos, all right? So I'm going to state it now. So in case anybody might have some trouble, always state your trig ratios. So cos theta is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Now the next thing is we're going to substitute the information that we're given. I know what is the magnitude of the angle between my adjacent and my hypotenuse. I want to actually get the hypotenuse. So what I know is the size of the angles. I'm going to substitute that in. So this is all extra information in terms of the explanation. So you all have the document, you all can take your time and read through, but I just want to go into this piece here, which says cos 60 is equal to 10 on x. So like I was saying before, I know the magnitude of the angle, so I'm going to substitute that, and I know the length of my adjacent side, which is 10. Since I don't know what the hypotenuse is, you can either leave it as AC if you'd like, but I chose to label mine as x, so that's why you see the x here. What is unknown to me? What do I want to find? Anybody?
The hypotenuse.
The hypotenuse. I want to get the length of it. That means I should transpose this equation to make x the subject, because I want to solve for x. And once we can work out this value, we will get the answer. The first thing is this. If you're using a calculator and you want to do the entire thing one time, this is how you do it. You go to your calculator, you type 10 in first. After you type 10 in, press divide. And on your calculator, you should have brackets. So then you'll press the open brackets. You're entering cos 60 and then closing the bracket. Okay? So remember, because this time we're trying to find a missing side, we want a trig value. So that's why we're not going to do inverse. We're doing just the function. So we're doing 10 divided by open bracket cos of 60, close the bracket, and then press equal. So everybody should, if you all were working along with me while I was saying that, I know it's kind of fast, but if you all were working along with me, you should get the answer to be 20.
Miss, you could just repeat, please?
Okay, so let's work out the value of x. So to get the value of x, if I want to work it out in my calculator immediately, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to type in 10 first, then I'll press the divide button, and after that, I'm going to open a bracket. In that bracket now, once I see my open bracket, I'm going to press cos, and then I'm going to enter the magnitude of the angle, which is 60, and now I'm going to close the bracket. So after I do all of that, make sure on your calculator you can see 10 divided by open bracket, cos of 60, close bracket. Once you have that, all you're going to do is press equal, and you should get your answer to be 20. So, okay, just give me a second.
Yes, miss, I get it. I get it. Happy to
Beautiful. Yes, that's it. So Zara, whenever you want to find a missing side, most times you will use the trig function as it is. So in this case, because we had adjacent and hypotenuse, we use cos. If we had the opposite and the hypotenuse, the function would be which one?
Sine.
Sine. And likewise, if we had opposite and adjacent, we'd use tan. So whenever we have missing sides, you're using your functions as they are. If, on the other hand, you want to find a missing angle, that's when you're going to have to use your inverse function. Let me just go quickly to that example that I want you all to look at before I finish. Always make sure when you state your answer with units. So in this particular case, we're finding the missing length, and it was measured in centimeters. So we must put the missing length is 20 centimeters. Example 4. In this one, we want to find the missing angle theta. Notice we're given the adjacent and we're given another side. So we just need to know what that side is. And from there, we'll be able to determine the trig ratio. In responding to Zara's question, yes, when you want to find a missing side, we use the function itself. When we want to find the angle, we must find the inverse function of whatever is the value. Okay?
Excuse me, miss.
Listening?
So when we're using, I don't have a scientific calculator as
Right.
yet. My mom said she's gonna buy it, right?
Okay.
But for now, I have my phone, right? So over the weekend and for the next week or however long, I'm going to do some revision. But
Okay.
I'm not exactly clear on when you said press the second button, right? When Renelle was doing her demonstration, said we press the second button, then the function and the number, and then the equal sign, right?
Right.
So how do you get that second button when you're using the calculator? And I
Okay.
took
On your calculator itself, you'd have that button. For us, people who using phones, you have to rotate your phone. In landscape mode, you will get extra functions. And for some people, it will show up as second, or for some people, it will show up as arrow pointing right, arrow pointing left. Click on that one and you should get inverse, right?
yes.
Seeing it now?
Yes, thank you, miss.
No problem.
That's just to enable more functions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And for those of us in class, if you still aren't very clear about using your calculator, whether it be your phone or using the scientific one, for your friends in class who do understand, you're free to talk to them, get a little extra insight into it. All right? WhatsApp is not just to talk about all kind of random things, it's also to support one another in terms of academics right now. All right? So how do we feel after today's session? You all feel okay-ish about the trigs? All
Yes,
right.
miss.
Nice. Have a lovely, lovely day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of it and have a great weekend. And I shall see you all again next week.
Same to you, miss.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye, miss. Have a great day.
Thank you.